It says
Yep, I think this might be the problem. I need to click go live. The new YouTube interface for live streaming is absolutely cancer. It says we're live now.
okay. Hey everyone.
Hello, how's it going?
Hi.
Everybody introduce yourselves right now.
All right. I'm Esso, and we're the reason that I've been so quiet lately, both Filthy and I, is because we're working on another collab. Oh, that's a big surprise. We're like the only people that we collab with.
Well, the reason we collab so much is because we're talking all the time. So, yeah, we're basically in the same circle as well. So, anyways, yeah, today we've got both some very tragic things that are going to make you cry and some ridiculous things that are going to make you laugh. So, stay tuned. It's going to be glorious. So, today we've got the first story is that I need to dig this up. Where did I leave it? We have a 19-year-old woman managed to shoot herself through the mouth during a traffic stop in an apparent suicide. However, she did it with her hands cuffed behind her back.
Yeah. So
I don't know what to say about that. Like, she has to have some really crazy flexibility to pull that off. Like, holy crap.
Yeah. The police had already stopped her, and she was like cuffed. She had her hands cuffed behind her back, and she was up against the car. And apparently, according to the story, like her boyfriend went running from the car. This is the version that the police tell, and they don't even explain how she did it. They simply say, "Well, she must have contorted her body." How the fuck do you, when your hands are cuffed behind your back, how do you shoot yourself in the mouth?
Wait a minute. Wait. Esso, are you saying you doubt the official narrative? I mean, you can do all sorts of things with your hands tied behind your back and your palms pointed downwards. I mean, I could easily shoot myself with a handgun through the mouth with my hands tied behind my back. Couldn't you?
She must have done it with her feet. She did it with her feet, guys. She grabbed it with her feet and used her toes. She's real talented. You saying she doesn't have this talent?
Oh, obviously, I mean, women are empowered, don't you know? So they can do things that are physically impossible.
Well,
she must be quadruple jointed.
Yeah, it's okay, guys, because the police department says that they didn't do nothing, and they sent it to an FBI crime lab, and the FBI crime lab says they didn't do nothing either. So
I guess they didn't. I guess they didn't do nothing.
I mean, just let's ignore the fact that it's literally the same organization working together, but yeah, and they both have an incentive to lie about it, but whatever. If they did.
But why would they lie, though? The state never lies. We pay them not to lie.
Yeah.
We just listen to them.
They'll never lie. They say that they're honorable, so obviously they can never lie.
Oh, only the politicians lie. I mean, do you elect your police people? Of course not. So therefore, they never lie. That's how that works. Only politicians ever lie.
No, the people who aren't elected don't lie.
Never. I mean, I don't think you can. Can anyone in the audience find a single example of anyone who was not a politician ever lying ever and was also in the government?
Nobody who is ever put in their position unelected ever lies. It's just the people who are elected that lie. Also, at the same time, every single problem which occurs in the government is as a result of people who are unelected, not representing us.
Yes, that's definitely true. And let's keep in mind that the boyfriend and the family all say that they doubt the official story, friends and family.
Oh, yes.
In one quote, in all her life, I'm reading from an article here.
Right.
In all of her life, I have never known of her to shoot a gun, own a gun, or ever hold a gun.
No. All the problems, they're not caused by any of those things. They're caused by the free market somehow.
Oh, right. Yeah, Walmart shot her. That's obviously what happened.
It was fucking Target that shot her, you dumb shit.
Yeah, it was Target. My manager told me to do it.
It was
I'm sorry, guys.
It was Target. You look at the front of their store. There's a bullseye in the store, just like how somebody who's shooting at somebody would look at them. It's like a giant bullseye. Illuminopoly confirmed.
Ah. Yeah, I mean, I was too busy reading into the actual text. I didn't look between the lines of the actual
We can't
text. I looked
talk
at
too
the
bad
size
about Target.
0.05.
My
I'm
sister
reading
will
the
get fired.
size.
She works there.
Yes, I
And she
should have
did the
known.
killing too. She did the killing too. She admitted to it now in a text. So
What, you disagree? You don't approve of the official narrative which is being presented here by the state? Well, it would be a shame if you shot yourself, quote unquote, as well.
Oh no! What's going to happen is I'm going to shoot myself in a tragic weightlifting accident.
Like that one other story. And for those of you who don't remember, there was a story we did like about a month and a half ago where somebody shot themselves in a weightlifting accident during a confrontation with the police.
Yeah, I mean, there are going to be some people, maybe in our audience even, who are going to read this story, see people, or see this amazing, empowered gymnast who is able to accomplish something that is literally impossible for a human to do, and think that, oh, the police are just trying to cover up the fact that they murdered this person. But no, they would never lie. They would never lie about that. The police are good. They're here to protect us.
Oh, and we need gun control so people cannot handcuff themselves and shoot themselves in the head. That's why we need
Shoot
gun
themselves
control.
through the mouth. Definitely.
We need gun control so cops have an easier time killing those bitches.
Well, we need gun control so that cops can more easily kill basketball Americans by the thousands.
Basketball Americans, basketball Americans, basketball Americans.
They can also kill dogs too. Just remember, don't spay and neuter your dog. Just call a cop. They'll take care of it quicker.
That Chihuahua has a gun.
That 8-pound Chihuahua has an AR-15. You better fucking kill it.
I remember this one time. This was back like before I was even political. My family and I went camping. This was like in 2013. And some park ranger came down to talk to us because like we have a dog, and yeah, there was like a park trail near our campsite, and the dog would run up, try and greet people, and there were people complaining about it. So the park ranger, I don't think I've ever told this story before, but he came down to our campsite, and he told I was in the tent, but I heard it, and what he basically said was that, I mean, no, we've had to shoot a Chihuahua before. There was this one person because they were also working as a police officer in some other town. We got called to this one lady's house, and this Chihuahua kept getting out and biting my ankle. The dog did this twice. I told him to keep the dog under control. The third time it came around, I pulled my gun on it. I mean, it's a bit long. It's a bit longer of a story than that, but yeah. I mean, basically that was in context. It's the way I'm presenting it. It sounds like an ominous threat, but he wasn't threatening us. About our dog, he was mentioning that. Because
if a cop ever shoots my dog, I'm shooting them for destruction of property.
Yeah, my parents are cop suckers, so they were having a conversation with the guy. And no, if a cop shoots my dog, the cop's getting shot. So.
Well, I mean, you remember that story we did like 2 or 3 weeks ago where the cop shoots a dog and then demands that the owner, after he gets home, demands that he cut his own dog's head off.
Yeah, what the fuck?
What the hell?
Oh,
Now, my
Fuad Muhammad gave us a $2 super chat, so
yes,
hell yeah
yes,
to
I
you.
see that.
You're awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
man.
he says, look up generative anthropology.
No idea what it
All
is.
right.
Is like the Strauss-Howe generational theory. I mean, I've done three of my 4 videos on that, so I'm at least pretty familiar with that. I don't know what else you're referring to.
Which, by the way, the reason I think you stopped and you haven't finished your 4th one is that we had that debate about Strauss-Howe generational theory, and I was under the impression that the Strauss-Howe generational theory was an argument for determinism, but I've come to the understanding that you can observe general, trends in society which can repeat themselves, and this can be based on simply material conditions which exist um, as a result of free human actors, and the societal conditions around the material circumstances which that particular period in history um, has. So
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and go on record and say I've come to the understanding that's not a deterministic argument.
Well, what I actually wanted to do with the 4th one, the reason that I haven't done it in so freaking long, I know it's been a year, I really want to do it, just that I want to do something special with it. And by special, I mean get either Strauss or Howe to basically do an interview with me, where I'll go over some of the questions, some of the concerns that you, myself, and others would have. Like, I remember, what's his name? Kit has asked whether or not a stateless society would be able to avert or otherwise break the generational cycle, or
And
whether or
that's
not like immortality would, or not even just immortality, just like imagine humans living up to 200 years. Would that otherwise disrupt the cycle? Would it expand it? Would that
that's the point I would have today. I would still disagree with it as a sort of naturally occurring cycle. I think that it exists as a result of the conditions, the behaviors which the general population um, tends to lean towards, and as I've demonstrated, that's largely as a result of the state and material conditions which are created by the state's intervention in the markets. So my position is more that, yeah, well, once you actually achieve significant political change, so achieve a stateless society, yeah, it's very difficult to see if that would actually persist, if we would still have these cycles, because the way human behavior would function would be so significantly different than how it would for the last several hundred years throughout history. I
one
mean,
thing I do want to point out is that in the actual 4th Turning book, the way that the cycles are presented is like the state is there, but it's as much affected by the generational cycles as any other aspect or part of society. I know that the state is a parasite of society, but it's as much affected because, well, the people who are going to be in the state are caught themselves in the generational cycles and will be affected in their upbringing by the trends and the attitudes that are prevalent in their respective childhoods. So we have boomers now, and boomers were raised in a specific way during a 1st turning. Unfortunately, that also means that we're going to be stuck with boomers after our current 4th turning ends.
well, that's assuming that human behavior sort of develops in trends the same way that it does in a state society. Also, that explanation of the state and its relation to society implies, again, that political decisions are determined by human action. And I think, as I've demonstrated several times at this point, that's simply not the case.
The thing that gives me the most concern, especially about a new generation of boomers being built. I mean, they won't literally be the baby boomers. They'll probably come up with some other new term for them. I hear the term Generation Alpha being thrown about. I don't know what they'll be called, but the point is that they'll be raised with parents who are simply relieved to be out of this crisis and are going to instill them a sense of learning, understanding, and values to try to avert any future crises, or at least prevent a repeat of the crisis that they just recently got through. As a result, you're going to have a new generation of incredibly opinionated and incredibly entitled children who are going to grow up to become, well, boomers. I don't know if the state is going to avert that or not, which is why I'm so bent on getting either Strauss or Howe to help talk this through with me.
Well, Generation Z, as they're referring to it, the most recent generation, I mean, it's sort of hard to see if there's going to be a cycle like that, because we're entering a major worldwide economic collapse. And Gen Z, they're almost grown up. I think 2018 was the first election where Gen Z was able to vote. So
Yeah.
Well, the first Gen Z were born in 2005, so.
Oh, so.
I guess it.
Okay,
No,
I thought it was 2000 and onwards.
I
There's
was
it's-
hearing 1997.
there's a lot of nebulousness around that. I'll grant you that much, but from my understanding is that Gen Z is born after 2005. There's going to be a lot of gray areas, especially since there's no hard transition where people who are born in, say, 1964, on December 31st, 1964, and people who are going to be born to January 1st, 1965 are going to be either boomers or Gen X.
Yeah, these are average behaviors. These are not, like, determined trends.
Mm-hmm. Except for boomers. They're all terrible. Anyways.
I don't know. Konkin was a boomer, and he was pretty fucking great.
Fair enough.
We can consider that an outlier.
When the fuck did you get in here? Go back to being nothing.
Like 30 seconds ago.
Oh, hi.
Gone.
Oh, hi.
Well, I did send him an invite, so.
Yeah, I thought so. So, I'm just kidding.
Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
So you want to jump to the second topic?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so you can take this one. The second topic, the video trailer I sent you this morning.
The movie. Do you have it pulled up, Filthy?
Yes, I do. I don't think I'll be able to play it, though. At least not in any way people can hear it.
Alright, so basically there is a new movie out called Crypto. And, yeah, it's basically...
Let's see, it's got...
It's basically, it's about counter economics and cryptocurrency, and it's basically Hollywood's answer to counter economics, like their propaganda piece. It's sort of like to agorism what the purge is to anarchy. I guess if that's a good if that's a sufficient way of describing it.
That Purge movie was terrible.
For one
The concept
day,
of it's really
there's going
retarded.
to be no laws, and people are going to start killing and eating each other if they're not ruled by anyone.
Even though the Purge in universe was actually a government program. It's
and
like
since people... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
what like the lore of the Purge is hilarious when you realize how un-anarchist it is. It's like for 12 hours, the police are not going to enforce any laws except when done against politicians. But in universe, when they first tried doing this, I think they're retconning it in the latest movie, is that like literally nothing happened. The government had to hire mercenaries specifically to go out and start killing people so people would actually, participate in their purge.
That's retarded.
So in other words, like they tried to create half a day, or rather a single night, where people are allowed to do whatever they want, and people just left each other alone. So they had to hire people to start killing people during the 12 hours.
That's exactly what I found funny about the movie. It was that they're trying to demonize anarchy, and then they show us that people weren't purging, so the government sent mercenaries to murder people.
So that they would start purging.
Yeah.
Like next thing you know, like the creators are actual anarchists, and they purposely retconned it just so they can point out how stupid the government is.
But,
I mean, that would.
Anyway, so I guess should we start watching the trailer now?
Yes, everybody. I think what we should all do is have it ready, and you, SO, since you're streaming, you should have it on screen,
I have.
and then we play it at the same
now.
time. All right. So everybody have it queued up.
It's just
Where
gonna be
is the link?
playing it. I thought.
Oh, you can play it. I just think
that
like
way
we'd
I
all
can-
see it at the
that
same
way I
time.
can pause it at will.
All right. Well, I'll be playing it. So play.
Here to help? If I can. Where did you find this kid?
Top of his class at Wharton. First round draft pick on Wall Street.
It's uncertain to me how high these conspiracies go. You've made it impossible for a company with revenue exceeding $7 billion to do business with us.
They're reassigning you to Elba, New York.
That's where I grew up. What's up, man? What are you doing here? I'm an AML officer, anti-money laundering.
What brings you in today?
I need to talk to the owner.
You're acting like you want to find something wrong.
You're acting like I'm going to. No phone number, no email, just 10 million in cryptocurrencies.
Jeez. Did you hear all those buzzwords?
Just 10 million in cryptocurrencies.
I got 10 million in internet.
These hackers when they're and their internet points.
I have 10 million in websites. Do you like websites, SO?
Is this Watch Dogs 3 but into a movie?
This is
I think it is.
This is so fucking hilarious so far, and yeah, of course that's. Oh, we're gonna have the FBI come in, and we're going to show that cryptocurrency totally can be tracked by the state.
What they're going to. One thing I did notice is like one of the first lines in the movie. One of the first words I heard in the movie, it was immediately a buzzword: conspiracy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the plot of the movie is gonna be, but it's probably gonna be something along the lines of. Well, I guess we'll watch the rest of the trailer, but
I'm gonna hazard a guess. So what I think they're setting up is the main character. I don't know who it is. Luke Hemsworth's character
well, wait,
is some.
wait. Basically, it's going to be a bunch of Wall Street companies conspired to create cryptocurrency, and because it's completely untraceable by the government, that means that mafiosos are going to start using it to launder money, and of course that's bad, and those are the only people who are ever going to trade in cryptocurrency. So
I think what they're gonna. I think what it is that Luke Hemsworth's character is some kind of financial advisor or some other guy who basically goes into companies and helps integrate cryptocurrency. He's generally like you're a good guy, actually a good guy trying to help people with crypto. And then as it turns, like he gets pushed out because like people are terrified of crypto. He's wondering what the hell is everybody scared about. But then like he gets involved in mob stuff and he's really like, oh crap, crypto is really dangerous, you guys. It's really dangerous. And
Yeah,
so
and-
he's got to work with the FBI to take these guys down.
And the technical knowledge of this movie, it can basically be summed up with the image that I just coincidentally happened to pause the trailer at right now. Binary 0111 in green numbers, and just the words on the screen: hacker attack. because that's how computer hacking works.
No, this is what the movie's going to be. You're going to go see it. You're going to come out and say, "I'm a good guy. I would be a bad person if I use crypto."
Yeah, only
I don't want to be a bad person.
Can't use cryptocurrency. I gotta be a good boy and get my good boy points from the IRS and the FBI for being a good boy and using their fiat currency and not being self-reliant. But anyway, I'll continue.
I had a client who was interested in that stock Baker found with your daddy. He was offered 7 figures. When I see things like this, I get pretty worried.
You must know all kinds of things back there behind the curtain.
Pardon? We have a serious problem here. I'm pretty sure the Russian mafia is laundering money through the Omni branch here.
More Russians! It's the Russians!
They actually used Mo-Russia. They actually freaking used Mo-Russia.
The Russians, they're gonna kill us. If you go with Russia, you'll have anarchy. If you want American constitutional democracy, don't use cryptocurrency and help the Russians.
You forgot to you forgot to mention the trademark in constitutional democracy. There's a trademark at the end.
But snow people. Okay, I'm sorry, that was pretty cringy.
Yeah. If you don't trade for oil with our currency, then you're lacking democracy. We're gonna have to bring democracy to your country.
Because clearly that's the only thing that's wrong with the world, is that there just isn't enough democracy.
Oh, for God's sake.
Alright, Blake.
Hey man, you following me or something?
Yes. You need to get this stuff organized.
Kickbacks. There's a honest to God folder that says kickbacks
I saw that.
with all the folders that say Bitcoin payments. By the way, that's not how encrypted ledgers work. There's just a folder for all the payments. What the fuck?
What the hell? Yeah, this is clearly meant to be some kind of like criminal spy thriller.
Okay, let's read all the folders. Feeding information, insider, Bitcoin payouts, kickbacks. That's what all the folders say.
What's going to be in the kickbacks folder? Just out of curiosity.
Well, it's Wall Street, so obviously government subsidies. That's probably because that's something that people hate, and obviously, since it's a propaganda movie about cryptocurrencies gotta be put in the same category as government bailouts, even though that makes literally no fucking sense.
I'm just wondering, like, who names their porn folder porn? If this is something you don't want people to see, what you do is you label it something either innocuous or repellent. Like, I don't know, the Black Spruce folder?
Yeah, like, that's the thing that made me laugh. These are supposed to be folders. They're supposed to be hidden. Why not dog pics, motorcycle pics, like, camping, family reunion? Like, you would hide the name of the file. This is like the dumbest person ever.
Oh yeah, it's just like criminal, like I'm pretty sure underneath it's going to have a folder for criminal activity, child pornography, and federal government, please look here and arrest me.
You need to get this stuff organized and out there.
Wait, what? So that had to have been out of context, but so the government is attempting to investigate these people money laundering, and his friend says, we have to get this information out there. The one that's involved in the money laundering Steam, or what the fuck? This doesn't even make sense. I'm hoping that's out of context, and now suddenly the Luke Hemsworth character is he's gonna become a good guy, and he's gonna renounce those bad boys using cryptocurrency and cooperate with the almighty government, and they're gonna reveal the conspiracy of crypto.
I found this on the porch.
Fuck did that say?
I don't know what it says because the stream is like 7 seconds behind.
Let's talk cowboy, bring everything, 3 p.m. Cops equal RIP. Oh shit, so everyone who uses cryptocurrency is a cop killer. I mean, depending on the circumstance, that could just be self-defense, but...
I think it's just like cops equal RIP means that if you call the cops, you're dead.
Pictures of all the dead cops.
Alright. Yeah. So.
Hey, I'm Dad. These people are dangerous.
Counter-economists are dangerous, guys!
Well, we are. It's just
dangerous.
that we're dangerous to the right people.
That's one thing they said right. We're dangerous to the state.
Yeah, that's... Well, that's...
They just show...
Yeah, that's just... it's a lot like Anarchy, not Anarchy, The Purge, where it's written like, oh, everyone's just gonna come after the politicians, and it's gonna be, you know, chaos. That it's just clearly projection on the part of the people who are writing the movie, because they know that the moment that the movie's fucking written, the cash cow is over for them. Hollywood's coming to an end because people can actually freely start competing with one another and put out their own entertainment. I mean, they can now, but it's going to be a more open industry. And,
I would be surprised if a freaking army marches on Hollywood to free the kids.
Yeah, and fucking the politicians, I mean, they know once the state's gone, it's fucking people are not going to be happy with them, so I think that's just projection on their part. That's sort of what's happening here. It's projection. Oh, it's dangerous. We have to avoid cryptocurrency at all costs. They're just... yeah, it's bad for the state, and it's bad for, you know, big movie companies, but, I mean, for the population, no, it's probably one of the most important inventions of the 21st century, probably even of the last couple of centuries.
Definitely.
But nobody can be prepared for whatever that was.
Oh, fuck. I fucking, literally, I start playing it again, and there's like a fucking drug cartel video in the trailer, but, I mean, there's no gore, so don't worry, but...
You're a very clever boy.
I'm sorry, this is just too fucking funny. Also notice how, like, this title font, they're trying to make it like they're going for like a Matrix vibe, but if you watch very closely, like, the letters are just flashing between crypto. Like, it says currency or whatever it says, but it's not flashing through every letter. It's just the only other letter that it's flashing between spell out crypto. Like, I'll play it again.
Yeah, that's called subliminal messaging.
Yeah.
Do I have what you want? No, let him go.
Yep. So, I mean, that's crypto.
State money good. Everyone who does crypto murders cops and sells drugs to the cartel.
Pretty
That's the moral of the
much.
story.
Do they shoot dogs? really know this.
No, no, that's only what the good guys do, the cops.
Well, I mean, obviously the cop had a gun. The Chihuahua had a gun.
Yeah, if you love freedom, puppies, America, hot dogs, and apple pies, then you will do what your government tells you, and you will not trade in cryptocurrency, and you will rat out anyone that you catch trading with cryptocurrency. This message has been brought to you by the FBI, CIA, DOJ,
NSA,
and any other alphabet soup agency.
No, but I think this movie might be a movie to make people have negative views on crypto traders. So when the state tries to outlaw it, people will say, "Oh, I will rat out all my friends doing crypto because they're the bad people I saw in the movies."
Yeah, this is
pretty much.
This is just like pathetically desperate. I mean, it hasn't worked so far. So I mean, the state has tried to tell people, yeah, we can totally track cryptocurrencies. So when we ban cryptocurrencies like they did in Russia and China, you better not, or else we're gonna find you. And then even though the crypto markets are illegal, they become the biggest crypto markets in the world, in Russia and China specifically.
Well, don't you know drugs are illegal and nobody buys or does drugs in America? Prohibition works.
Definitely.
The war on drugs.
Well, prohibition, I mean, you got to understand, it especially works when you're dealing with a new means of trade which is literally mathematically designed to where it cannot be traced or it cannot be hacked into from an outside source. There's no centralized point of distribution either.
Well, we've already talked about, and we've also talked about the possibility that it could be tracked with, what are they called, quantum computers. However, that hasn't been proven one way or another, since they don't exist yet, to the best of my knowledge.
And even if they do, I mean, since most of the, I mean, assuming that they do come into existence around this time, most of the world would already be, you know, centered around cryptocurrency, so they would just create something which quantum computers can't get into relatively quickly. They'd create just a stronger version of the blockchain.
Quantum coin.
Yeah.
It's like Bitcoin except quantum.
Well, there's already a cryptocurrency called Quantum. I don't think that's the purpose of it. I think it's just called Quantum for some reason.
It's a cool sounding name. That's pretty much it. It sounds sciencey.
Yeah. Anyway.
But beyond that, it's like, yeah, as you said, like this is definitely meant to. And this is definitely an example of the state trying to influence culture. Not only in the sense that, like, it'll get people to be more wary of crypto traders, but make it more socially acceptable when the government does decide to crack down. Even though them doing so won't be justified, people will just assume, oh, well, I mean, the thing that I saw in the movie must be going on. That's why you have the government cracking down and making cryptocurrency illegal.
Well, what they don't understand is that, you know, once counter economics, you know, once that becomes sort of a mainstay in the economy, once that becomes the more common means of trade, other than trading with the state and outside the legal markets, that's going to be not as a result of people ideologically choosing to support cryptocurrency, but it's going to be more as a result of it being no longer profitable for them to trade in the legal markets. And that's something, you know, this is just more proof that the state doesn't really know how to deal with cryptocurrency. And I mean, there's nothing they can do. But they seem to be under the impression that it's like an ideology. It's like a people are driven to it. Like they legitimately don't seem to know how it works.
Oh yeah, here's something that Patrick Rooney pointed out in the comments, that in DC Comics, in the DC Comics universe, There's a cryptocurrency that is the most popular cryptocurrency called LexCoin.
Oh fuck.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, so congratulations. The cryptocurrency in the DC universe is tied to Superman's biggest villain.
Even though if you knew
Oh.
the first thing about cryptocurrencies, you'd know that because they don't have a centralized point of distribution, they would be very bad for someone like Lex Luthor because, yeah, they wouldn't be able to distribute it themselves, and yeah, it would also sort of decentralize the market to the point where yeah, they wouldn't be able to use the state to curb out all their competitors because their competitors, you know, the state wouldn't even know where to begin tracking down anybody trying to compete with Lex Luthor, and it would also, as a result, make Lex Luthor's enterprise less profitable. So, I mean,
How do you even make money off of founding a cryptocurrency?
you don't. That's the reason why that's fucking stupid. And anyone who thinks that that's the case, it is just that they don't know how it works. Pretty simply.
Well, that's why they're writing comic books.
There was also this this comic strip. I have no idea what comic book this is from, but there was this panel where they were talking about the dark web, and fucking oh my god, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So there was this like I said, I'm not too familiar with Marvel or DC, so once you get past like the mainstream characters, I just don't know who they are. So I mean, the guy's suit was like, it was black, and it had like a light blue trim and a light blue mask. I probably sound like such a plebeian right now, but yeah, I just don't know who this guy is. But anyway, he was saying she has a profile on the darknet, which means that her only posts are in ones and zeros. I could crack this code. Fucking
What?
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 it
Blue
was
Beetle, I think.
Yeah, it was something like that, and I don't remember what it said word for word, but it was just the most boomer shit ever. If somebody could like send that comic clip to me on a clip of that on Discord, that'd be great. But yeah, they just don't the state established economic hegemonies in the market, and the state itself don't really seem to know how it works. So it's pretty funny to watch them flop around like this.
I mean, that blows my mind on so many levels. I mean, I'm no expert on the dark web, but any guide to the dark web, there's websites on the surface web that are not hard to find that tell you not only how to get into the dark web, but what best practices are, and what they'll all tell you is that keep your information all create a called email address, encrypted web service like Proton Mail, and do everything you can to make sure that you never have a repeating password to any of your accounts. So, and for God's sake, use a VPN.
That's not, you know, I mean, that was funny, but the part that was funny wasn't necessarily that, like, they created a profile through the dark web. It's like the person who wrote that seemed to be under the impression that the dark web it's like a website you can sign up for.
Sign up to the dark web for $9.99 a month.
I'm pretty sure there actually is a surface web website called darkweb.com. Let me check that out, actually.
But in the meantime, I suppose we could talk about Did you guys see that V got his stream hacked? You know.
Oh,
No.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
I did not.
Sargon's little milk gimp slut, or whatever the fuck they call him.
Yeah,
That milk-fed gimp.
Yeah, milk-fed gimp. Yeah, I
Basically,
I don't like V is probably my least favorite of the skeptics. I'd say right underneath Nightmare Fuel.
He is kind of a doofus.
What does Jim Jesus count as? Is he a skeptic or is he just?
Jim
He's
Jesus
just
is a
in his
fucking-
own tier.
Jim Jesus is a fucking retard. That's what he is.
No,
He's not even smart enough to qualify as a skeptic. It's like, here's the thing. I've only spoken to him once on Twitter, and very briefly. And in that time, he managed to piss me off. So
he's about as skeptic as Age of Bomber guy is conservative.
Yeah, but
pretty important.
where I was going with this is V. He made a video addressing his stream getting hacked. Basically what happened is he got kicked out of like his own Hangouts call because somebody had gotten into his Google account and they started playing like porn on his stream or something.
That sounds like something Black Spruce would do. To be honest.
But in his video addressing it, he was like, the government couldn't have been involved, which I'm not even suggesting that it is, but what he said is that the government can't be involved in anything that happens online because they don't understand meme culture and they don't understand this, how to manipulate things through social media. And, oh, motherfucker, that is probably the most naive thing that I've ever heard, and the sad part is, that's not even the first time that I've heard one of these skeptics say that. Like, that seems to be an idea that they push regularly. And, I mean, you're talking about the organization which spends most of, like, a good chunk of its budget on agencies which do nothing but, you know, invest in studies which show how to manipulate people. And all they do is manipulate people. You think that they don't understand memetics or how social media works and how to get influence on social media.
They are probably writing the books, literally, on how to get influence on social media.
That's actually the line of reasoning. That specific argument, I first heard it from Computing Forever, but yeah, it was like I've said in my last couple of videos and on some streams before that, you know, I've come to the conclusion that there are people posing as alternative media personalities who are actually government shills, and I have proof, and I plan on making a series about it. But yeah, that specific line of reasoning is what it created a red flag for me. I was like, well, that's stupid because the government spends a big chunk of its resources on learning how to manipulate people or manipulating international affairs. Why would they say this when, I mean, a lot of their content is talking about government censorship and manipulation? But then I think, well, you know, these are the same people who advocate for an internet bill of rights and don't realize, you know, that the media and the state are working together to sort of create that Machiavellian narrative that, oh, government censorship of the internet and nationalization, that's a good thing. We should have the FTC enforcing our social media policies and the FCC dictating what the terms of service should be.
Seems legit.
Yeah, let's ignore what's happening in New Zealand.
Because Donald Trump is being attacked by the media, the same media who through Operation Mockingbird he's giving direct orders to what they should write their narrative, what they should write their narratives about, how they should conduct themselves. Wait, you've got one side of the media who's attacking him constantly, and another side who is attacking the side that's attacking him but then presenting themselves as a voice of reason for the disenfranchised population, and then telling people to go back to the state when both of those sides are puppeteered by the same entity. Wait a minute, something fishy's going on here. Yeah, so that was the moment I started to get skeptical of alternative media personalities. Wait a minute, maybe some of these guys aren't retards. Maybe some of them actually are being malicious, because that's what I began to notice, that a lot of these seemingly naive narratives benefited the state quite a bit if they were having their audience convinced that these things were true. If they're convinced that the government just, for some reason, is incapable of understanding memes and social media, if they're under that impression, well then, I guess there's no way that the state could possibly manipulate things through social media, which means, I guess, no one will ever be skeptical of anything they see posted on the internet or an internet outlet. But then, that got me thinking, well, if they want people to not be skeptical of things they see on the internet, that probably means that they're polluting the information being spread through social media with government propaganda.
Even so, like, just think about this, just think about it for a minute. If anyone had a reason to want to manipulate social media, it would be the government. So wouldn't they go to whatever lengths that they would go to, spend millions, even billions of dollars, if they didn't know already how to manipulate it, to find out how? I mean, we already know that they basically have the entirety of Silicon Valley under their thumb. You don't think that they can't manipulate it through them either?
And they do. That's what they're doing through their algorithms.
Oh, by the way, Heartless Soy Boy, thanks for the super chat of $4.99. And he said, imagine if we can pay to watch this movie by cryptocurrencies.
Well, here's what we do. We download the movie illegally, and then we we sell it to people for, like, I don't know, 1/100th of a Litecoin. And then, we sell the downloaded video to them for the price of 1/100th of a Litecoin.
Bootleg the movie and then give access to the file for roughly the equivalent of $1.99 in Litecoin.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So do you want to touch the other thing I was talking about earlier real quick, or do you want to end now?
Let's touch on that thing real quick.
Okay, so let me pull up the Wikipedia. So we might have democracy in this country pretty soon, or the closest thing to it. There's a thing called the National Popularity Vote Interstate Compact. Basically what it is if
how many words is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's way too many. Normally it's like 3 words, snap your names. That no one's gonna remember that.
But basically what it is, if they can get how electoral votes now work is, the state gives them out and all that. Well, they can get 270 worth of states on votes on it. They will not give out their votes until they find out who has the popular vote, and then they give that to them. So basically, you'll see a popular vote system if this comes into fruition.
You say that like it's something to be excited about. I mean, personally, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's not really a step up from what the current system is.
We would still have no proof that they're actually counting the votes in the first place.
I mean, it's still tyranny. There's no proof the votes are actually being counted. And on top of that, it wouldn't affect the laws which are being created because you still got fucking a state and politicians.
Yeah, pretty much. Legislation still wouldn't matter, and even if all of that were void, everything would still be illegitimate because it's still government.
The excitement is not from the thing I'm reading. The excitement's from a little bit of coke I just did. Sorry.
That'll do it.
Alright.
Yeah, so my thinking is that, at least in face value, it looks like that this is just more Trump derangement syndrome. That, oh, Trump didn't win the popular vote, therefore he's not a legitimate president. And they want to basically make it so that it's a lot easier to stack the vote by basically importing Democrat voters from Mexico and South America.
I mean, Paula Dice actually did a video on the bullshitness of the Electoral College. Go figure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only BS.
Actually,
I'm sure that the...
there's no correlation, by the way, between immigration and a particular ideology or group that they vote for. That's propaganda.
I mean, people are afraid of the brown people, like, just bringing in socialism, but then just remember that the Chinese are smart as fuck, and yet they're pretty collectivist.
Yeah, that's probably the first way you can tell that that's a bullshit argument, is that it assumes that people by a demographic have one specific preference or ideology, which doesn't make any sense. That's collectivism.
That's a good point. They have been trying to push that narrative a lot lately.
Well, and think about what it seeks to do. One, it seeks to justify the government's expansion of influence over traveling, but also what it does is it seeks to basically give people an issue to be scared about to get them back voting again. Oh, you don't want these guys supporting open borders. The brown people are gonna come in, and all the brown people are socialists. So you got to vote to keep them out, even though they'll just get in anyway if they want to.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, I have 3 friends who are undocumented immigrants. All 3 are market anarchists.
Well, there you go.
Let's also remember that the same people pushing this are also the same type of people that want to nationalize the internet for some fucking reason.
Of course. Well, we know why they want to nationalize the internet, so they can control the flow of information.
They don't want us speaking filthy. We're bad people. We don't speak the narrative. Go Hillary.
And why they want to push this immigration narrative so hard is, one, to make it harder for people to travel, because if it's harder to travel, then it's a lot more difficult to be self-reliant. Also, if it's it serves a dual purpose of scaring people by giving them an issue which they think only the state would be able to solve, because we see it all the time. I don't know about you guys, but that's something that I've noticed, is that's basically one of the last things keeping people away from anarchy, is they have this idea in their head, because they keep hearing it from people like Tucker Carlson and all of these skeptics, that, oh, we need strong borders because the brown people are socialists.
I'm just saying that if they don't want the brown people to vote in socialism, what you do is you get rid of democracy.
And but that's not my point. My point is that that's the purpose that it serves as well. Is, well, this is an issue which can't be solved by the market. You need the government. You need to vote. You need to be dependent on your rulers.
Pretty much. I mean, they'll come up with anything to make an excuse for why you need government authority. Oh, look, the weather is changing. We need government authority. I mean, that's what climate change argument actually is.
Oh, don't you know, without the government, a dog may bite you. Without the government, your toilet won't flush. Without the government, you won't get water. Actually, my water's private water, so that one's a fail. I have a septic tank. That one's a fail. And if you get bit by my dog, you weren't supposed to be my property to begin with.
You have private water? Well, we're going to go in and we're going to seize control of your property then. Oh, well, now you're stuck on government resources. Now you need the state.
Actually, you know what's funny? I lived in the city for a time, right, when I was doing work, and the water bill was like $110 a month. My private water, which, oh no, private water's so worse, is $27.50 a month.
Damn.
Private well. Just freaking private well. That's all.
But no, the private market would be worse than the government water. That's like 3 times the price. Actually, 4 times.
Isn't like
four times the price?
Isn't Flint, Michigan's water government water?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
If you let the private industries run water, then they'll poison it. Oh wait.
No, honestly, if Flint was private, they would never let that get. They would never get away with that shit because they'd be out of business in a day.
Within a month.
It doesn't even matter.
Within an hour.
It doesn't even matter that it wasn't private. Freaking statists will still blame it on the free market, like they do.
For everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ignore the fact that we have zoning laws.
Like you trip over like a pebble, it's the fucking free market.
Yes, the free market put that pebble there. You're on a pebble road and I tripped over a pebble. How dare the free market? We need a government to make sure that this pebble road gets paved, even though it being a paved road wouldn't benefit anyone at all. It's basically all foot traffic.
Actually, unironically, someone told me that if I was on public water, it would help everyone, and that's why water's bad, because private water takes resources away from public water.
Wait.
Good.
What?
Good.
You having your own water and competing with the state hurts everybody else because what the fuck? That
was the argument, because we're taking resources away from the state.
That's just retarded.
I mean, if that's their argument, then in that case, good.
Did you ask them how the view was with their head so far up their ass?
Yeah, that's kind of the idea, though. The state shouldn't have resources.
It shouldn't.
Well, my response was, would you buy from a company if Flint was private? Would you buy their water? And they said no. And I said, guess what? Those people don't have a choice. They are forced on government water. They can't say no. And surprising enough, they actually said, oh, I get it now. After about 2 hours of talking to them, they finally got it. It was painful. I thought I was going to die.
Oh yeah, I can see how that would be painful.
At least they finally understood, but I mean, Jesus.
It usually takes a while. And sometimes you have to, be patient. I remember I was talking with a coworker I'm pretty sure they were conservative, though I haven't been able to get a coherent belief system out of them yet. And as I was talking to them about it, eventually they came to a realization. It's like they figured out the problem reaction solution thing on their own.
Good work.
I was so happy. I didn't even say anything about it. He figured it out.
Yeah, that's a tactic which the state loves, but I mean, now, as I've explained, they've, I was mentioning this on yesterday's stream, where, I've seen mainstream media outlets slowly starting to mention Operation Mockingbird, and then say, oh, well, there's these bad actors in the CIA which are controlling the media. Yeah, it's bad actors. It's not the state.
It's not the state, you guys.
Yeah. So now, they're creating this completely Orwellian narrative of, oh, well, there's a problem reaction solution narrative within a problem reaction solution narrative.
That's how you know the state is unraveling. And this is the reason I titled this stream The Latter Days of the Soviet Union. And this will make sense especially more like our next video, me and SO's collab. That the latter days of the Soviet Union, people couldn't tell what reality is. Everything was just so absurd. Everything that they knew was just being turned upside down and right side up constantly, that they couldn't tell what was actually happening.
Yeah, and this is a point which I've been making throughout the last few months, especially after the 2018 election. I mean, there's clearly a large chunk of the population which is becoming disenfranchised with the state. If that wasn't already made evident enough with the the Crypto 2019 movie. if that didn't already make it clear enough what's happening, yeah, the voter turnout for the last 2 elections should. People have just simply are just simply becoming disenfranchised with the current system, and that's scaring the crap out of the state. Because if there are more people becoming disenfranchised, then there are going to be people seeking alternatives and seeking ways to get around the state. So, yeah, and the more disenfranchised people you have, you know, they're going to spread their beliefs, and those beliefs are going to become more widespread, and yeah, ideas sort of work like a disease. Except in this case, it's not really a disease. It's a good thing when talking about anarchy and agorism. But
you know, well, it's a cancer within the state.
I was just saying I had a really crazy ass theory. It's probably really stupid, I just thought of it, but what if this is something that they want to happen? That they want people to simply not care, because then next thing you know, they can just do whatever they want and people won't say anything about it. But I was to start steamrolling them.
I think that's the old plan. Because when people become disenfranchised, they end up like becoming apathetic. But now we actually have an alternate set of beliefs and ideas that allow people who are apathetic and disenfranchised to, one, not only believe in something, but two, to have the means to get around it. So, I mean, before there was really nothing that they can do about it. Now we actually have something for them. So it's not quite...
Well, it's not that there.
That might have been the plan at one point. People.
Hold on, it's not necessarily that there was.
To overload people with bad news that they just tune out.
Filthy, it's not that there wasn't anything before, it's just that there wasn't anything which the state could...
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Yeah, I don't think you can hear us, but, anyway, it's not that, there weren't, anti-establishment movements in the past. It's just that there was nothing the state couldn't easily handle or couldn't easily subvert. Now it's sort of out of their hands because yeah, there's no real counter economics. It's not necessarily an ideology. It's also that is fucking loud.
What is that?
It's Bunny's mic.
I don't know. Bunny. Don't do that.
Fucking. But
yeah,
that's what's different now. I mean, following the Great Depression, for example, people had become really disenfranchised with the state, and initially had tried to trade around it using gold. That's how they were becoming self-reliant using gold. But then FDR, being the fucking tyrant that he is, well, that's not FDR, it's more the state simply trying to save its ass, but it was FDR. He signed Executive Order 6102, which confiscated the majority of private gold assets. And they could easily track that down because ledgers weren't encrypted at the time. And, you know, most people got their gold from banks, so...
Yeah. And besides, we're over an hour now, so I think we should wrap this up.
Pipsqueak sent a super chat before we hang up for $2. Thanks for that. He said, "My billionaire crypto mafia warlord takeover." Yes, that's what I'm planning. I am a warlord, and my crypto mafia will take over the state someday.
The cops in my area, I haven't had personal experience with that, but I have heard from a lot of people that they are incredibly anal. So come down here and liberate me.
Man, I've never had any problem with police. Oh, what is it with everyone else?
I have. Whenever I was working in a specific area, I would get stopped at least twice a month while I was driving home from work. It was freaking awful.
The only weird confrontation I've ever had was that my brother, he had a warrant out for his arrest, and I was going to school one day. And after I get in my car, there's just no one. But then when I start backing up, there's just, boom, a police car and an officer at my window. And I'm just like, well, what the hell? He thought I was my brother at first, and I had to tell him, "Oh no, I'm not the guy." And he was fine after that, and I just told him, "Yeah, he's in the house."
Alright.
And yeah, he got arrested. That was it.
So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and stop streaming now. Thanks for watching, everybody. There should be a new video up on Thursday. So, see ya.